Before 1979, when President Tolba saw the need to change the party, and he called a meeting in Bentall, October 1979, to talk about changing the structure of the True Whig Party to become more relevant to current day reality. I had a book called The Economic History of Liberia. Dr. D. Elwood Dunn, who was then Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, called me up and said he needed to read that book to prepare a statement for the president. He asked me to please come to Bentall that night with the book. I went there, and there was a meeting of the True Whig Party. I was not a member. My father was a member. By that time, I was not a member. And President Tolba came in, and they sat him up on the stage. And he said, no, I do not want to sit on the stage. I want to sit down with the people. So he sat down among us. And he said, we have come to a very crucial time in this country where we must make changes. This party must change. We must have a party that is national in scope and democratic in its practices. And we must start now. That was after April 14. The Brownell Commission had done its work and had recommended to the president a lot of changes. And I was a research officer on the Brownell Commission. I didn't just go through this town with my head in the sand. Everything important that was important, I tried to participate. I was a research officer of the Brownell Commission. I have the original document with my name in it. And President Tolba went on and said he was opening up the program for anybody who wanted to talk. People went there and talk, and I put my hand up because my mouth always open. I don't know why. But I put my hand up and I went up there and said, Mr. President, this is Friday night. Ordinarily, a young man like me should be in a nightclub enjoying myself. I'm here, and I thank God that I'm here. Because I just want to tell you and the True Whig Party people a few things. And you can ask George Bowier, he was there that night. Peter Niger was there. Dr. Dunn was there. I do not know where Haji Krumah was. I didn't see him there, but ask all these people. I told the president in that meeting, Mr. President and Mr. Standard Bearer, I just want to submit to you that this party must change or be changed. Those were my words. October 1979 in Bentall. Right away, the speaker who was legal advisor to the True Whig Party, Honorable Richard, and he put his hand up, and I had to stop talking. And he moved to the podium and said, Mr. President, I've been in this party 40 odd years, and the thing I hear your precious Jewel saying tonight, I never heard it before. I think it's a good thing that you're letting the young people speak up. But Mr. President, I have a cold, and I want you to excuse me. I want to go home. So he walked out, and I continued my speech. And I told the president, I'm telling you something serious. You either change or be changed. After that meeting, when the president was setting up the 27-man task force to reform the party, he said, where's that young man that was talking so much? What's his name? They called my name. Put me down. I was number 7 on that list to reform the party. We came to Monrovia. They called the first meeting of that group. I did not attend. After the meeting, I got a call from Dr. Dunn, D. Elwood Dunn, to say, Emmanuel, we have selected you to be the chairman of the drafting committee to draft the final report. And I said, okay. And we had a meeting in the True Whig Party building, E.J. Roy. Emmanuel Shaw was chairman of that group. A lot of people were on that group. And we got through, going through all the country. We interviewed a lot of people. More than 3,000 persons were interviewed in all the counties. Because we wanted to have genuine change, we did not sit in Monrovia here and take people from Monrovia and say that they represented the counties. We sent people by air, land, and sea to every county, every territory in Liberia to interview the people and to bring tips of the interview. And then they met in Bassa for the True Whig Party the first quadrennial conference of the True Whig Party. That night, Mohamedou Jones, he's still alive, check him out. George Bowier is still alive, check him out. Emmanuel is still alive on Congo Town Back Road, check him out. When they got through writing everything, I had the occasion to write the last paragraph of that report. When I showed it to Mohamedou Jones, he panicked. He said, Bowier, we can't say this. It will not go down well. I said, Jones, we have to say it. If we don't say it, something will happen. And I convinced him, convinced Bowier, and so all of us went to Shaw. Shaw said, I can't do this. I can't do this. I said, why? He said, but you know the procedure. You cannot read a document before the president unless he reads it first. You cannot preempt the gentleman. I said, that's good. I will tell you how we'll do it. As I told you, I'm full of strategies. So I told Shaw, I said, you know what happened? The president is now in Bassa, in Buchanan. Tomorrow morning, you will carry all of the speech to him that we'll read, except the last page. Tell him we're working on it. When he reads this first part, everything is alright. The message is in the last paragraph. Then you carry it to him and give it to him just before you go on stage. It'll be too late to change because there'll be no secretary there to change anything. So he said, okay. And I want to read to you that paragraph. For some people who feel that some of us were just reactionary, running around the True Whig Party trying to look for jobs. No, no, no. Before I went to the True Whig Party as general coordinator, my Honda car was running up and down this time with JB77. Ask some of your grandma, and maybe they were my girlfriends, you don't know. Ask them. Some of us just didn't come up. I want to read that last paragraph to you for a good reason. And that last paragraph says, the records show that the 33rd convention did not share the standard bearer's conviction, did not answer the call for change, and did not take the opportunity to become more relevant and responsive. During this first quadrennial Congress of the party now finds itself poised at the crossroads of its history. I want you to listen keenly, because there will be many things I will tell you in tomorrow that will come back to this thing. The party now finds itself poised at the crossroads of its history and on the brink of a new decade. This was 79, we're going to the decade of the 80s. There is much to be done if the party is to survive. We must not only stamp out the evil, we must begin to build for 1983 and beyond. 1983 was the time we were supposed to have an election. The alternatives are clear. The options are well defined. This first Congress, if it can find the wisdom and the courage, can catapult a revitalized True Whig Party confidently into the turbulence and uncertainties of the 80s as an established, united democratic party of the people. I was just crazy writing. Or if narrow-mindedness and short-sightedness prevail, this first Congress might well go down in history as the party's last. We hope and trust that the latter course will be avoided at all costs for the good of the party and the prosperity of the republic. Everybody thought we were crazy, but I begged them, and they kept it in there, and they carried it, advance copies to the president. And this was just put there just before Shaw read it. When Shaw read it, the whole Congress went into uproar. Why can they say this to us? How can these young people say this to us? The only person that came to our defense was Dr. Augusta King. He came to give a sociological and anthropological analysis of what the young people were saying at that time. That if you don't change, it will be your last Congress. They thought we were joking. They went and made some cosmetic changes. By the time we got back to Monrovia, in 4 months, everything went back to normal. In 6 months, the coup came. In 6 months after we read this document, there was a coup. And people want to make people look like, oh, you did, but that guy was reactionary with the True Whig Party people. I'm on power with the party until he died. When that old man was dying, he left 2 symbols with me. The Liberian flag and the True Whig Party flag. And he said, boy, work in the system. You can change things from inside. Why did he tell me that? Why did my father tell me that? Because he had worked for the party for about 40 years. And because he opposed the gambling bill along with Cassell, who was in the house, along with Jacob Ma and other people that opposed the gambling bill. They didn't want any gambling in this country because it was against the social principles of the United Methodist Church that my father was a member of.